Hi, welcome to WiseCat. Okay, today we're having a look at, this is sort of part two in talking about SSH key authentication. And today what we're going to look at is what happens if you have, say, 10 keys and you want to authenticate all of them with a server at the same time. Well, fortunately, we can do this with one command, and so that's what we're going to do. But first, let's have a quick look at a quick recap of what we're actually going to try to do. We're going to add a public-private key pair. We've got our public key is on our server. That's where we want it to be, and that's the problem we're solving. I'm a little bit big. Yeah. So the public key is on the server, and that's what authenticates us because we have the private key. So if we actually take a message, encrypt it with our private key, and then pass that to the server can decrypt it, and that's how it knows that we're us. But for that to happen, this public key must be on the server. So how do we get the public key onto the server? That's the thing that we're going to do. So I've actually got my Vagrant once more. I have actually regained access to it. If you were watching the last video, you might notice that I unauthorized myself at the end of that video. So anyway, I've reauthorized myself here, but only with one of my keys. Now, I want a whole bunch of keys. I've got a whole bunch of keys that I want. I've got, a key, I've got a mobile device, I've got a laptop, I've got 3 laptops, and I want to, I've got other servers that I want to be able to access this server because I want servers to be able to talk to each other using SSH. How am I going to authenticate all of them at the same time? Now, one way that's actually quite easy is to use a tool called ssh-import-id. Now, you're going to love this, but it does take a little bit of setting up your keys first. So, what do you need for ssh-import-id? Well, first of all, we need to install it, usually, because it's not typically installed by default. So, sudo apt install ssh-import-id. Boom, that's what we want. And actually, on this server, I actually already had it installed. Okay, I might have done that earlier. I don't know why. But anyway, it's installed. That's the important thing. On Debian, it's typically not installed by default, so you would need to do this sudo apt install ssh import id. Well, what can we do with that? Well, there are at least 2 services that support ssh import id: GitHub and Launchpad. And I'd like to actually introduce you to the Launchpad one, formerly known as Ubuntu One. There it is. So if I go to my account, log into launchpad.net, and I will put a link to the Launchpad login page and things like that. You can create an account, it's free, and you can actually register your SSH keys here. Now, remember, as Ducky's Wingtip says, machine's private key should never ever leave that machine. So we are definitely not going to put our private keys up here, but you can actually just input a new SSH key by putting the content of the public key, only the public key, up here. Right? And you can see our ED25519 is supported here as well. So basically insert the contents of your public key, and it's even telling you where to find the public key contents there. So you can put your public key in here and you import public key and boom, you get a list of public keys. Am I worried about this? No, this is public. This is the public key, and public key can be public information. It doesn't matter. By the way, I can also delete them later. If I say, oh, Blackbeard, I'm not using that one anymore, delete selected keys, boom, and things like that. And you can see they've all got nice human readable names. I can see add a mega extra. GitHub has the same sort of functionality for registering SSH keys, but they're mainly intended to be used for, pushing to Git repositories and things like that. So those SSH keys, if you don't continuously use them again and again and again throughout the year to make Git pushes, then they expire. I think it's like 1 year on them or something, and then GitHub just deletes them from your account, so it makes it useless. Launchpad, though, these are literally the main use for these that I can see is to do SSH import ID. So you register a bunch of things there, and then you can use your SSH import ID to pull directly from Launchpad. And here's how that would work with mine. So mine's, I'm Adam Jenkins, so I just type in here, I'm logged into the server that I want to be authenticated on, and I'll just go, wait a minute, before I do, I'm just going to just take one more look. And you can see there's the Vagrant key and the Adamant Mammoth key. And there's nothing else there, right? And let's get Ducky out of the way. Okay, Ducky, goodbye. All right, so I've got my 2 keys here at the moment. No more, only 2. But I'm going to install all of my other ones. All right, I can just go ssh-import-id. Now, I'm using the service Launchpad, so LP : and then my Launchpad account name. Now, if you type in this command exactly as it is, you'll authorize me to log into your server. Don't do that. I don't want access. So, so just make sure that you change this to your own account name, and make sure that you don't misspell this, because if somebody else has the misspelled version of your account name, then they'll be able to get access. Let's hit enter and see what happens. Boom, 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 boom! Look at that! All this magic has just happened. All of these authorized keys and the different, different key types and everything like that, they've all just gone in. All right, so let's double check that. Let's have a look at the authorized keys again, and look at what we see. This is what we see. So you can see there's my Mammoth key there, right? That's the one that I had before, but we've got all these other ones have been added. So let's have a look. What's this one? This one's this one's another Mammoth one. So this is probably the Mammoth RSA one. This is a Dragonstone, which is a laptop. This is Olympus, which is another computer. Silverback, Xperia, that's the phone one. There's the Godfather protocol. There's the Blackbeard one and the Adamant Extra. So you can see Blackbeard's another laptop. Godfather protocol, might do an entire video on that later. But the Adamant Extra one, that's another one. That's another server that I want often use to talk with other servers. So look at that. I've got all of my public keys in there. I'm not afraid to show you this. Why? Because these are public keys. They're supposed to be public. You're supposed to be able, you can type in that command exactly as I did, and you'll get these public keys, right? They're public. That's the thing about it. Remember, what's important is that I keep my private keys private. So anyway, what that's done is that has authorized all of those devices with all of those keys can now log into this server directly. They can just do SSH vagrant at vagrant.wisecast.net, and they will, as long as the network reaches this this vagrant, then they will be able to log in. They'll be able to, without a password or anything, it'll just get straight in, right? And it's more secure, it's more convenient, but it's even more secure than password authentication. Okay, so that's it for today. I've got a really, did a 30-minute long one, and this one's only 10 minutes long. It's, but that is super, super duper convenient. So, please make sure that you're using your keys and, register them all with, say, Launchpad, and then you don't have to go. Oh, yeah, one more note just before I go. If I just, let me cat that out, actually. All right, if I cat out my authorized keys now, you can see that these ones from ssh-import-id, right, it actually tells me what command brought these in, and it gives all of them a nice, so you can see that I've got the Adamant Mammoth there. This one says this is Adamant Mammoth that was imported using ssh-import-id. So it tells me where the key comes from and everything like that. If you use GitHub for this, it doesn't do so well on that. So be sure to use Launchpad if you want to have this human-readable metadata that makes it easier to find the keys and revoke them later if you should need to. Otherwise, you've kind of got to go through. It's a bit messy. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do so, because if you're watching this video, it means you like this stuff. So that means that you should really subscribe, maybe ring that little bell icon and things like that, so that when another one comes up, you can. Make sure that you keep your private keys private. Don't make the ducky mad, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, catch you later. Bye-bye.